Hello, and welcome to this session on how to create a course, a coaching program, or a membership. My name's Sarah Cordiner, and I am a qualified teacher trainer, course creation specialist. I've been working in the education sector for 20 years. I know, I only look 15. And we're going to be teaching you today the main steps of walking through the process of creating a course, a coaching program, or a membership. Hello and welcome. So those of you on the live stream, hello, please pop in the comments where you're from, what your area of expertise is, and what kind of course you're looking to create. Are you looking to create a self-study online course? Are you looking to create a coaching program? Are you focused on creating a membership or something else? Also, if you do have any questions, do pop them in the chat and we will go through and see if there's time for any questions. And I will keep scanning to see if there's any questions that I can answer as we go through. So we'll be chucking slides on today. We're going to be going through the big overarching steps of putting any of those together. So hello there. We've got Sonia online. We've got Leanne, Janine. Hello. Audrey's there. And it's great to see some familiar faces coming back. A lot of people at the moment thinking about creating memberships. It seems to be a very popular type of product, not just for the creator, but also actually for students at the moment. So I will be really looking at that particular product in quite a lot of depth today, because what happened in around the COVID era, whether this had anything to do with COVID or not, is out there for debate. But pre-COVID time, the courses that sold the most were self-study courses and were courses that were quite big and information loaded. In fact, pre-COVID days, it was almost part of the sales pitch that this course is 10 hours long, 50 hours worth of training content. It was almost like it was the battle of the big. I don't know about you guys, but the thought of getting through a 50-hour-long course makes me filled with dread. And I just honestly don't even have time to have a lunch break these days, let alone watch a 50-hour course. So we have to keep in mind that is potentially why those types of courses and programs are simply not selling as well anymore. It's not necessarily because people aren't interested in the topic or don't want to learn it. It's actually because when we're selling something that's huge, all we're really getting in response is people going, I can't fit that into my life. I'm never going to be able to jump on that level of work. What is working? If self-study online courses aren't working as well, and by the way, that doesn't mean they're not working. I'm just saying they're not working as well as they used to. What is working today then instead? I'm glad you asked. At the moment, since COVID, what we have seen is a massively significant shift in consumer behavior, education consumer behavior, to more group-based, community-based, and membership-based content. So this is really all about people having the opportunity to get much more fast, short, sharp, straight to the point, quick, easy, fast to implement and consume information. And also around that, have a sense of belonging, a sense of community, which, as we know from Maslow, is a fundamental human need. One of the fundamental human needs to human beings, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is to feel like we belong to something. So we have at the fundamental level the need for food and water to quite literally stay alive. Above that, we have shelter and warmth. Above that, we then have safety, i.e. a roof over our heads and we're not at risk of being unalived all of the time. And above that, we have a sense of belonging. Above that, we have love. And above that, we have self-actualization, being able to give back, make a difference, contribute and serve a purpose for ourselves and for other people in the world. So as you can see there, the need to belong to something is really bang smack in the middle of those needs that we have as human beings, which is why community or membership-based programs do so well, because it's not just about what we're learning, right? When we're learning something new, when we're implementing something new in our lives, when we're making change in some capacity, that always happens more pleasantly and so much easier if we're doing that with other people. if we're not alone in that process, if we feel like we're not the only psychopath doing the thing, right? We got other completely like-minded, crazy people around us who we can drop questions to, who we can share our daily frustrations with, who we can get advice from, and who we can just all have a communal scream with when it all goes wrong. So that is why memberships are working well. The other reason why membership programs are working very well, and don't worry, I'm not going to just be hammering that home today. I am going to be talking about all of the types of programs you can create. But the reason why this is also really popular from a course creator's perspective is because of the level of freedom and creativity that it allows. It also takes away that massive, overwhelming task of having to complete and create a whole huge course before you launch it, because a membership can come in unlimited forms. Many memberships today are quite simply a monthly group live coaching call or a monthly workshop. Some memberships that we've got inside Techmatics and in my client bases are people who are sending out regular meditations, simply dropping a meditation into that community portal that are aligned to the theme of the thing that they're teaching. Some membership programs drop a group challenge once a month. Some of them are sending out some kind of gift or a box once a month. There is just absolutely no law, no rule, no structure that anyone has to follow when it comes to a membership, meaning it really stimulates that sense of creativity. You can basically put in it whatever you want. And think of a membership like a bookshelf. Imagine that it's like a shelf or a bucket or a library that you can just keep adding to as time goes on. If you decide to create a free workshop this month or some kind of training, or you answer a question that keeps getting asked in a video, you simply go and add that to the shelf. You simply go and drop that item in the bucket that the members have access to. So it gets to grow over time, slowly, without all of the overwhelm and the pressure of having to create something big up front. It can be really fun. So we talk about that. Now, those are doing well because when it comes to that style of teaching and delivery, you can quite literally drop micro pieces of training and micro pieces of content, or just quite literally rock up live, deliver a training, record it, and then put the recording in the portal, making it so less overwhelming to actually create and deliver that kind of model. Exactly like I'm doing today. I'm recording this live and delivering this on a live stream at the moment here in early February 2025, and I will be taking the recording of this and using it for all kinds of purposes later, to go on and promote my membership, to put inside my membership, to chop up and use as social media content. You get the point. But this is the way that you can basically approach putting together a membership by launching it today, by saying quite simply, I'm going to run a live call each month, and that's going to form the core of my membership. All you need to do is go into your Zoom account, create those once a month meetings, and stick the dates and times in the Zoom links inside your portal. Bam, you have a membership. And the only work you need to do is make sure you've prepared that workshop or that training in time for each of those monthly deliveries. That takes a lot of stress and pressure away, doesn't it? Your membership keeps growing over time. So that's the second type of program that you can create that's very popular at the moment. Now, the third type we've mentioned is called a coaching program, which again can come in many forms. This is where simply you have some kind of pre-recorded content, maybe, and or you delivering live training. Ideally to a group, so that enables you to scale, have more people. 1 to many equals many more dollars. Okay, you're helping more people and you're being able to charge more money for every single round that you're running. Now, in terms of group coaching programs, there are a few things to think about when it comes to the delivery and the structure of this. Again, we're going to go into a little bit more detail when I get the slides up and we start delivering some more of the in-depth stuff here. But I want to give you a bit of a bird's eye view before you go in to help you start thinking about which one are you going to be creating. Coaching programs require you. They require your input and your time. When you have a self-study online course, you create it and film it once and you resell it over and over again. It's a completely passive product that people can then just go in, they buy independently, they consume independently, you use automations to make sure they finish it independently. When you've got a membership, you can have a little bit of a hybrid because you're going to have some content in there that's pre-recorded, your resources can get dropped in there, and then you might have the additional group coaching calls. But when it comes to coaching, this is different. This is where People are actually expecting to spend time with you, to be able to converse with you, to ask you questions, to get your guidance and advice. Now, how you do that, again, is completely open to your creative process. There, again, is no coaching program police that are going to say to you, you can't do it that way. You are a course creator. The clue is in the creation. You get to wave your magic wand with your little teachery board pen and say, this is the way that I am going to deliver my coaching program or my membership. Okay, no one's going to come down and tell you, naughty, that's wrong. Okay? So with your coaching programs, here's a couple of examples of approaches that you might take. One example you can use as my real life example is my Concept to Course group coaching program, which actually happens to be running next month. If you're watching the recording of this later, you can join it at any time. But we run this as a group once a year where we all go through it together once a year. Why? To create that sense of community and togetherness, even though people can take that program whenever they want. But it's that once a year that we run this as a 30-day program for 4 weeks. Okay, it's a 4-week program. And by doing it in this way, a 30-day program, it's long enough to get somebody substantial results. However, it's short enough for you to be able to go all in and deliver real, intense, intimate connection and support with your community without completely burning out. So I really like, if you're thinking about a coaching program, the 30-day type program works really well at the moment. Again, the trend that we're seeing is people preferring to move to short, sharp, intense bursts of finishing something or getting something done or reaching a certain result as quickly as possible. So I would recommend, if you're thinking about a coaching program, that you look at kind of the 30-day model. And in this, you might have, for example, mine is 4 weeks, module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. And inside each of those 4 modules that we recommend they complete over the 4 weeks, they're going to have a bunch of pre-recorded content in each week, but they also get a live group call with me on each of those 4 weeks, where I basically teach and sum up all of the main things that's inside that module that they need to know and they need to do. The live call is essentially a 90-minute version of the week 1 module with the core must-know information that they need to do, that they need to plan, that they need to implement to get through that week and achieve that week's tasks, as well as then having the opportunity for people to ask questions and get individual advice in that group environment. So would that work for you? Could you create some kind of 30-day group coaching program where there's a module a week over the 4 weeks, they get a certain result, they get 1 live group call a week with you that's going to help them ensure that result is done at the end of the 4 weeks. Now, other types of coaching programs in the past, again, used to be much longer, much bigger, like the online course model used to be, where people would be selling these 12-month coaching programs. Now, I'm not saying they don't work, and I'm not saying don't do them. I just want to tell you about current trends. Is today, those 12-month-long programs tend to have a lower completion rate than they used to have. They also tend to have a lower opt-in rate than they used to have. And again, this is because most of us today are so busy, are so attention split, that the thought of committing to something for 12 months is already a very big decision to make. People are also nervous that if they don't like you, or you don't get along, or they don't find the program interesting, that they're locked into a 12-month thing. People don't want that fear and that risk. The other thing is that as we go through 12 months of our lives, lots of things happen. We just can't predict, we can't control, we can't do anything about. When grandma unfortunately passes away, they're going to be asking to pause or cancel. When somebody gets sick, they're going to be asking to pause or cancel. And if you have this dropout rate that often isn't actually anything to do with your program's success rate comes down. And if you have a low success rate in your programs, then people aren't getting the results from your programs, and therefore your credibility can actually decrease. And often that is purely because of life circumstances and nothing to do with your delivery. So what I do recommend instead is that we look at our business model, which you're going to see a slide for in a minute, in a manner that is asking you a number of questions. So out of those 3 things I've just mentioned, we're talking about which ones do you prefer delivering? Do you want to be the person that is delivering a pre-recorded, one-off, completely passive online course? if for you, the reason why you want to create an online course and immortalize your knowledge into video is because you are absolutely sick of people and you've had enough of them. We've all been there, right? And you just want to create this passive delivery system, then a self-study online course is going to fit your joy tick a little bit more. If you like the intimacy of being really intensely involved with people for a short period of time to get them a result, a coaching program might be the joy tick for you. If you actually really like creativity and you're a little bit neurospicy, most entrepreneurs are, and you don't want to be packed into one particular bucket, you actually want to have a big bucket that you can pack everything you want into, then maybe a membership might work best for you in your joy bucket. The other thing you want to be thinking about is, what thing am I going to pick that's going to help me get the biggest success results in my business by enabling me to give the biggest success results possible to my students? So you're going to be thinking about, how can we keep it short? How can we keep it focused? How can we keep it digestible? And how can we keep people around, either in that membership for as long as possible or repeatedly buying from us? And this is another reason why I don't recommend the 12-month coaching program as the first choice anymore today, in today's climate, is because what I would rather you did is look at all of those different elements and maybe consider combining a couple of them. As an example, I have my 30-day course creation group coaching program, Concept to Course. I make sure that I do my absolute best to give these people everything they can to complete and publish their course by the end of that 30 days. But what happens next, you may ask? That is exactly where then the membership comes in. These people get really fast results. They're in high energy mode. They've had 30 days of bam, win, check, check. At the end of that 30 days, I'm like, what's next? Why, the momentum's here. Come and join my membership. Boom. Now they move into something that has the more longer term monthly recurring revenue, but that ongoing support, that ongoing coaching, and that ongoing training. Great for them and great for your business bottom line. Can you see where we're going here? All righty. So let's now have a look at our slide deck, and we're going to take you through bringing some of this together. And how do we actually do this then, Sarah? All right, I'm going to answer that question for you. Let's jump into our slides now. This workshop we're going through right now is going to be, sorry, I just need to get the right thing open. It is recorded, and it is also going to be having the slides dropped in to the recording portal. You will get emails afterwards, and all of the slide decks I'm sharing today will be downloadable in that course portal. So let's go into this. How to create a course, a coaching program, or a membership. We're going to go through the process for creating all of these. Hi, I'm Sarah. I am a teacher trainer. I'm not a marketer that learned how to create courses. I'm actually a curriculum developer, formally qualified at degree level, 7 years at university, who learned how to become a marketer. All right, so I basically did it the other way around. I used to be the executive director and head of campus of a university that was ranked #1 in Australia at the time of my leadership. I'd like to say that was all me, but it wasn't. And there's the rest about me. I know I'm awesome and sexy. Cool. What we're going to do today is going to talk about all of the different things you need to think about when it comes to creating any of these kinds of courses. We're going to talk about structure. We're going to talk a little bit about pricing. We're going to talk a little bit about how to plan your course. We're going to talk about creating the sales page. We're going to talk about the tech behind the scenes, how you set it up in a portal, and workflows and filming, and so much more. Now, hands up in the chat, who likes this question? Who likes the question, hey, can I pick your brain over a coffee? Who likes it? All right. Some people love getting this question because obviously it's opening up the opportunity for a conversation. However, unfortunately, this question doesn't pay bills. Like literally going out for a coffee and letting your brain get picked for free is not going to pay your bills. So what we want to be doing as coaches, as business owners, as teacher course creators, is we need to find a way to say, yes, I can help you with that, but you're going to do it in a way where I'm going to get some money for that. All right. You need to create commercialized versions of your knowledge. You need to download that knowledge from your head. You need to package it up, and you need to make sure that you are making it available for people to buy and not for the price of a coffee. because this is a business, it's your job. And I'm sure the person asking you this question wouldn't go to work and say to their boss that it was totally okay for him to pay them in a cup of coffee, right? Everyone needs their paycheck. It is not slimy, mean, narrow-minded, shallow-minded to say to somebody, unfortunately not. I can't go for coffee for free. However, I do have a free workshop, or I do have a free webinar that you can go and watch. Oh, look, exactly what I'm doing now, guys. Guess what I'm going to use the recording of this for? When someone says, can I pick your brains over a coffee? I don't have a much budget, but I'd love your advice. I'm going to send them the link to this free workshop so they can get some help, get some guidance, get some advice, with me only ever having to have delivered this one session once, free of charge. This will now work for me for the next 12 months until I record this again in February next year with the updated version. But hands up, who wants to have an inbox that looks like this every single day? This is a bunch of Stripe notifications from my online courses. As you can see there, main training is my education side of my business. This is possible once you commercialize your IP, once you package it up into coaching programs, courses, and memberships. The little ding that comes through, you can actually change the notification sounds of your Stripe notifications on your phone. Mine goes whenever I get a sale, and it never gets boring. What you need to be doing to make this happen is first just create the thing and publish it. Film it. You're going to feel horrible. It's going to feel embarrassing. You're going to hate the sound of your own voice. You're going to hate how many times you say it, but you're going to do it if you want your inbox to look like this. People aren't coming to stress about how many pixels your retina are. People are coming to get the answer to their questions. That is what they care about more than a Hollywood production. And if they wanted a Hollywood production, they would go to their lounge room, sit on the couch in their undies, and watch Netflix. They're coming to an online course to get their questions answered. So setting up a corner of your room, putting on a selfie ring light, which is all I've got in front of me right now, and just teaching what you love and what you know and what you're passionate about is the beginning of making your inbox look like this. Woohoo! Nice. So here's the first big step, guys. Step one, write this down. Step one, plan your business model. I've opened today's session with that in mind. I've opened today's session getting you to think about, is it going to be self-study online courses? Is it going to be a coaching program that I need to be involved in? And if so, do I make that period of time reduced so that I'm not burning myself out at 1,000 miles an hour, being everybody's crutch for 12 months at a time? Or am I going to create a membership? Am I going to add services? Or am I going to add all of them and put them in a little customer journey? So let's look at that, shall we? We want to be making sure inside our planning of what we're going to create, be considering our whole business model, be considering every element of everything else we sell as well. When I have people come to me saying my course isn't selling, it's not going very well, they have created a course and just thrown it out there by the side of their main business operation. You need to make sure that a course complements your existing customer journey. You need to make sure that it is embedded in the stages of buying, of purchasing in your business. So inside my kind of visibility blueprint, I call it, and today's session is not about that, which is why I've blurred some of this out. One of the biggest things we factor in before we design any business, before we start making real money in it, is we need to look at this very bottom section, zoomed in a moment, we will be, to decide what products and what services are we going to sell over the next 12 months. So here's my first question to you. What main product or service are you going to sell in the next 12 months? What is it? I'd love you to write that in the comments for those of you who are watching live. What's the main thing you're planning to sell over the next 12 months? Because also as part of this planning journey, we want to be considering with these products, with these services that we're going to be creating, how much money we want to make and whether that product we've picked actually has the capability to get us there. A lot of people will create a product without thinking about what am I going to sell it for and how many items and numbers and purchases of that thing will I need to sell to make that happen. And they then can't calculate, do I even have the capability and the capacity to service that, to market at that level? This is all part of that beginning process. So just to give you some ideas, when we start thinking about things like one-off courses, coaching programs, and memberships, we're going to be thinking as well about the way that we want to be involved. Now, if you are going to be selling one-off self-study things, these are the kinds of things that you can actually price quite low as the beginning of your customer journey, that entry point that people might come into your business at. If you're selling things at a lower price, you're going to get a higher volume of sales. You're going to get more people buying purely because price determines whether something is accessible to the masses or not. So if you also flip this the other way and think about your joy and your purpose, if you're asking yourself, do I personally want to impact as many lives as possible? Is it a goal of mine to leave a massive legacy, to become fairly well known in my field? Do I want to have lots of followers? Do I want to really touch as many lives as I can before I croak it? Because if that is a goal of yours, you actually must have low price products. If you want to impact as many lives as possible, you're going to need to be selling things that are under $100, because that's the only way that you're making your product available, accessible to the majority of the global population. Because get this, and this is not a stereotype, the market is a triangle. The world, the planet is a triangle in the business world. Okay. I'm not personally a flat earther theorist, but I am a triangular earther theorist. Where basically we have to understand, this is just the law of mathematics, that about 80% of the world's population only have about 20% of the world's wealth. And about 20% of the world's population hold about 80% of the world's wealth, meaning that in our triangle-shaped planet Earth, the majority of planet Earth are sitting down at the bottom end of this triangle, the largest part of this triangle. If we want to sell to the biggest portion of society, the largest sector of the market, people who have low disposable incomes, we need to have a low price product, which means that in part of your planning your business model and planning what you're going to create, whether it's a self-study or a coaching program or a membership, you are going to have a low ticket item as one of your priorities. And that could be a membership, or it could be some short self-study trainings, short, small workshops. Instead of having a whole course, I'd be considering just putting out lots of 1 hour or 90-minute training sessions that focus on very specific areas and selling them individually, or indeed chucking all of those into a low ticket membership, because that's going to allow you to have a low price, but high volume of sales. Awesome. Go to the top of the triangle up here. Do you, in terms of your joy, of how you want to live your life, how you want to spend your time, would you actually look at the low price, high volume thing and go, oh, that sounds like hell to me? I couldn't think of anything worse than having thousands of customers. Some of you may look at this, again, it's all personal preference. There's no right or wrong to this. You actually might be like, do you know what? I really prefer more intimate one-on-one experiences. I prefer to create real luxury, really VIP, really exclusive, really hands-on type services and experiences for my people. And therefore, if that's you, will need to be charging a high price for that, which means you're going to have less customers, which may be exactly what you want. Yeah. So this whole planning the business model and what am I going to create really must combine. What do you want to do? Do you want loads and loads of people? Because it's going to be low price stuff. Or do you want to be really exclusive, only help a small handful of people, a small number of customers that you have to worry about, but be charging much higher prices for that more intense and intimate experience? Or do you want to be an absolute psychopath like me and do them all? This is also an option. And one of the things that I do recommend is, first of all, do one thing at a time. Yeah. I would recommend starting with the smallest thing first. But one of the things you can actually do here to maximize the profitability of your business and to maximize the market segments that you can reach with your training, with your programs, you can have a version of your thing at every single one of these levels. You can create, like I have, how to create an online course for free in a free workshop. Oh, look, you're on one right now. You can have a mid-priced version of that. Oh, hello, go and look at my Concept to Course program, less than $300 to do a full 30-day intensive coaching program with me for a month. Oh, look, you can also come and do a Get It Done day with me, sit at my house and I'll do it all with you, or I'll do it all for you. Right? Those are my high ticket done for you course creation services. More money because you're literally sat with me and I've got my paws on your tech and I'm doing it for you. So you can, exactly the same topic, exactly the same thing, but a different depth, a different outcome, a different experience, and therefore a different price. So that you have everything for the people, from the people who say, can I pick your brains over a coffee because I have no money? All the way up there to the people that are like, I'm only buying the designer label. Because there are people in every single sector of this market, and there are people in every single section of this market that will want to work with you. So why not consider having a version of your thing at every one of those levels? Woo! That's exciting, isn't it? We don't have to put ourselves in boxes. We don't have to restrict ourselves to a particular thing. However, I'm going to say, however, I do recommend that you consider picking a hero product. I call it a hero product here. And this for me is picking the one thing out of all of those, even though I have the cheap versions, the self-study versions, the group coaching programs, the mid-price versions, the high-ticket versions, the membership versions. I still have one that is my hero product, the one that I ideally want everyone to go into because it's my favorite one to deliver. And for me, it's the most profitable in my business. For me personally, that's my membership. For you, it might be something different. It might be a service. It might be a coaching program. But you want to pick something that's your hero product that is the main thing that you promote. And if they choose not to go for the hero product, you can go, oh, by the way, there's all these other things if you prefer, because you're always going to have people that prefer you to just do it for them. And there's always going to be the people that just can't afford anything other than the cheap version. But pick your hero one, pump that as your main selling, your main marketing. And then from there, you can offer them the alternatives. And so here is what the customer journey looks like. And it's a bunch of examples of different kinds of, it'd be helpful if I share my screen, wouldn't it? Different kinds of versions or packaging that you can put your particular product into. For example, I've mentioned some of these today. Down at the left-hand side is the beginning of our customer journey. At the left-hand side, the bottom, the entry point of your customer journey is where you're going to have your free stuff, your lead magnets, your cheap stuff. So this is going to be your smaller, shorter webinar recordings, workshop recordings, self-study mini courses that you've put together. You then, as you move up along your customer journey, are going to then move into more like coaching programs, your mid-price things. Then you're going to move up to higher price stuff such as boot camps or retreats or consulting or done-for-you services. Now, you do not by any means have to have all of these options in your business. I do believe that the more simple you keep your business, the more profitable your business becomes. So for me, I focus on one, which is my membership. My Legends Lab is my main hero product. I do offer all of the other versions to people if the membership isn't for them. But I just want to give you some ideas, some things to think about here as to what you might create and what you might turn your knowledge into so that you're not swapping it for cups of coffee in busy cafes. So the next thing I want to ask. I've just spilled my water all over myself. I've just seen a question. Sorry, my screen's over here, and I've just seen a question come in from Manuela. Manuela has asked, what is your reason? In fact, I'll put that on the screen here. Manuela has asked, what's your reason to pick a membership as my hero product? Now, first of all, this is a very personal choice, a completely unique personal choice around what your hero product is going to be. Again, number one, it's down to my personal joy, first and foremost. What do I like doing? And how do I like to teach? How do I personally like working with my students? And when am I personally in my greatest flow, my greatest creativity, and my greatest position of service? For me, I'm a teacher. So that is my trade. It's what I do. It's who I am. I personally work best and prefer to teach, to be very dictatorial. Dare I word it that way? I like to be essentially the person who's behind the microphone going, here's what to do, here's how to do it, let me show you. I find the one-to-many approach energizes me. I find that for me personally, one-on-one is very draining on my energy. It's very intense feeling for me. So for me personally, I have gone and recognized that in myself and have realized that I'm at my best when I'm teaching. So that's the first thing that I personally established. The second element was my brain and my creativity and how I like to be quite fluid. So for me, I have lots of different things I want to teach, lots of different things that I can teach to my target audience. So for me, again, a membership started to make more sense there, because when you have a membership, you can keep adding to that bucket. So if you too have lots of different things that you like to teach, maybe a membership might work for you as well. Instead of having thousands of different products and thousands of different things that you have to then market in thousands of different locations, just promote a membership. And when they come in, when I join your membership, I'm going to see all the things that you teach. You can be creative. I can ask questions. You can create more content around the questions I'm asking you as a student, and you just keep adding to that membership. Now, the third reason why I chose memberships and why you probably will is for profitability. So memberships are recurring income. They are repeated monthly payments that, obviously, with permission from the student, the money gets deducted from their credit card every single month, provided that they like hanging around, right? The more you're giving them, the more helpful it is, the longer they're going to stay around for. And monthly recurring revenue is extremely sexy for business owners. Instead of just having one hit sales here and there, right? And your monthly cash flow is going, yay, great month because I did loads of marketing. And then, oh no, I was sick last week. Boom, did no marketing. So next month you got no sales at all. Monthly recurring revenue, i.e. a membership, is slowly going to increase over time. And by the way, slowly is the key word there. This is not a get rich quick scheme. The more people you bring into that membership, the slower and slower your particular monthly, repeatable, predictable revenue becomes. So that's my personal reasons why, for me, my membership is what I've chosen as my hero product. And some of you listening to this may be like, yeah, do you know what? Actually, that sounds pretty good to me too. As long as you're thinking about your joy, your flow, the way you like to work with people, and what's going to make sure you're making the most amount of money possible, whilst at the same time getting the best results possible for your people. Because if you're not getting results for people, you're going to be gone pretty fast. Then that is what's going to direct you for what your hero product might be. But guys, pick joy first. For anything to sell, for you to make any money at all, for you to be in any way remotely successful in this business, you have to commit to sticking to this for years. You must understand that chucking a few social media posts up about your course, chucking a couple of emails out and hoping SEO picks it up, you're not going to make any sales. You have to be marketing your product, your thing that you choose, every single day for the rest of time if you want it to sell. So if you don't love your thing that you've picked, you are going to hate your life very quickly. So again, this is why I say to people, go inside and pick joy, so that your job is no longer a job. It's a vocation where you get to live your passion every single day. Trust me on this. I am 20 years into doing this same thing that I have been doing. I have delivered this workshop for I don't know how many thousands of times over the last 12 plus years. And I am still teaching it, and I still love teaching it today as much as I was teaching this exact same presentation 10 years ago, because I love it, because I picked something I like to teach. Please bear that in mind if you don't want to hate your life soon. Okay, let's keep going on this workshop today. We've got another good hour or so together today. If you have a lot of topics, here we go. Here's where that membership comes on. What if you have a lot of topics? Guess what? You're an adult. You're going to have lots of topics. There's going to be heaps of things that you can be teaching. And this is why I love a membership. Now, niching in your field, niching down is always a good place to start. Because when you know exactly who or what you are targeting, trust me, it's a heck of a lot easier to find them. For instance, if you're out in the bush and you've got to go and search for some food and just going, I hope I find something to eat, you're just going to be randomly wandering around the desert. If you go, I am looking specifically for witchetty grubs, you're going to know to lift up the logs and the rocks and get under down in the dark, damp, wet bits. You're going to find witchetty grubs because you know exactly where to look for them. Yeah? If you're going out fishing, you need to have certain hooks for certain kind of fishes. And it's exactly the same in the marketing world. So I do recommend that you pick a topic that essentially will form kind of the core of everything you teach. For example, I have been and always have been known as the course creation person. Is it the only thing I teach? No. I teach tons of topics around course creation, but I predominantly go after that course creation niche because it's the thing that I love. When those kinds of people come to me, because they're the kinds of people I love working with, I then go, oh, by the way, I'm going to teach you AI, I'm going to teach you technology, I'm going to teach you email marketing, I'm going to teach you how to create sales pages, I'm going to teach you how to build a brand, I'm going to teach you how to become a speaker, I'm going to teach you how to get speaking gigs, I'm going to teach you how to write books, blah, 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 blah. I teach 1,000 topics, but I can't target it at a particular audience. You can niche in different ways. Right? Maybe you want to niche in the particular tool or platform or piece of equipment that we're talking about here. What do I mean by that? For example, how did Sarah become famous in the first place? Of course, I'm not famous. I'm talking in my teeny tiny weeny little course creation niche, right? You can't be in my teeny course creation niche without coming across me at some point. Now, how? When I moved into this business from the corporate training world, right? I've come from corporate. I went to the public space, didn't know anyone, had no following, had no social media profile. It did not fall out of my womb, by the way, right? I had nothing. So how did I get to becoming one of the most well-known course creation people, actually, I'm confident to say, in the planet, because I have so much content out there and I've been doing it for so damn long, is because I decided to focus on leveraging myself to the market via a specific tool. So I'm giving you an example of what I mean here by how you can niche, by using a particular tool, particular platform, or a particular piece of equipment. So, for example, there was a particular piece of software 12 plus years ago that was the main software for creating courses back then. I became an absolute expert in using that platform. I learned every single feature, function, hack, method that it could be used for my particular audience. And I specialized in being the number one person in the world to go to on using that particular piece of software, to the point at which I became that piece of software's first ever formal industry partner. They then let me present and teach to their market of thousands, their list of thousands. They listed me on their website. I believe I'm still listed there to this day. And that got me thousands of new followers. And when anyone went to the internet and typed in a question about that particular software back then, it was my name and my content that came up. We have clients today doing this. In fact, I think, Sonia, you're on the call today. Let me highlight Sonia here. Sonia has done exactly the same thing with Techmatics. She's got a virtual assistant business. She's out there providing virtual assistant services. How can I stand out? She thought. She found a platform, Techmatics, that she absolutely personally loved. And I'd just been seeing that she'd been creating a lot of content on our platform. And now there's a partnership there, right? She's now seen in our community and by our community as somebody to go to get virtual assistant services for specifically Techmatics business. Niching down sometimes makes you a massive fish in a small pond, but a pond that's big enough for you to earn as much money as possible. It might seem counterintuitive. I've got other clients who have done this really well. For example, I had a photography student who was just trying to teach photography to anyone and everyone who wanted to learn how to use a camera. And I said to her, who's your niche? And she said, anyone who wants to pick up a camera. And I was like, cool. How can we niche that even more? I said, what tools do you use? What camera do you use? She goes, oh, I only use Canons. I was like, bam, specifically mention photography for the Canon type camera. And then we went even further and I said, show me some of your photography work. All of it, all of it was food. I was like, boom, you are a food photographer using Canon. There are two specific niches you can go into there. We ended up getting her massive gigs doing food photography for all the local restaurants in her area. She then put together a whole influencers course for fitness and health coaches who were making recipes and were making meals to share out with their audiences. And she got gigs doing all of their photography for their social medias and so much more. See how when we think about, well, what do I do? How can I, is it the tool? Is it the type of way that I'm doing it? Is it the particular outcome that I get? Is it the particular product that I'm working with that niches me? Because when you know that, you can explode. You become so easy to find. You find it so much easier to find the people who need to see you. You know who you're reaching out to and how. So I recommend that you find some way of going, let's initially niche in one kind of area, tool, equipment, audience. So it could just be stay-at-home mums. That's what we mean by an audience. Or it could be the outcome that you provide. I help anyone create a course. Or it could be I help anyone run their business, but using Techmatics as a platform, right? See where I'm saying here? From there, you can now add on and fluff up as many other topics around that as you like, provided that your main bow and arrow you're using is that core thing, like I am with the course creators, right? I can now then offer any other topics around that inside my membership. See how this makes it a bit easier for you to focus. Okay, let's keep going. Now, my slide's not clicking. Just checking there's any questions over here. Brilliant. Okay, here's our next step. So we've worked out our business model. We've got an idea of kind of that niche angle we want to take. Now we're going to start thinking about how do we begin putting this together from just a random idea of I want to create a membership, or I want to create a coaching program, or I want to create a course. How do we now start bringing the first steps of organization and logic to this? Here's one of the ways that I do this, have done this forever, and still do this today, even though we have AI. This is an example of me sat on my floor. I do this to plan out my own programs, my courses, my boot camps, my coaching programs, my workshops, and my entire membership. I have been doing it this way for my clients, with my clients, and for myself for years, and I still do. So here's me sat on the floor. I believe this was around November a year ago or so. I, first of all, start brain dumping down everything that I might want to teach in that thing that I'm going to be creating. So if this was a membership, so hands up those who are creating memberships, first of all, I would sit down and ask myself, what would somebody need to know and do from A to Z to completely and utterly master this topic? So if somebody was going to sit with you on day one of their darkest hour, they have no idea how to do what you do. Please help me. I'm stuck. I have no idea how to do this. What would you do with me first? What's the first thing you would do? Would it be a particular conversation? Would there be particular questions you would ask? Is there certain things you would need to find out? Is there something I would need to do, write, articulate, or implement? What would you do next after that? What would you do next after that? Now, what I tend to do first is I just brain dump all of these things down on Post-it notes. You can stick them on the floor, you can stick them on a window, on a door, whatever you prefer to work. I, first of all, just brain dump them all in no order whatsoever. For instance, with my Legends Lab, which is what I was planning out here, I sat down and said, I'm helping business owners, particularly those who are experts in their field, learn how to build a highly successful business around their knowledge and expertise. What are all the things I've done to get where I am? Because really, that's what people want to copy, right? I've done it. People want to copy what I've got. They want to have what I have. They want the results that I've got. So what do I do? What have I done? And I brain dump it all down. What would I do now that I know what I know? If someone was sat down here in person, what would be all the things I'd take them through over a year? Dump it all down. After I've dumped them all down, then I start to group them together in similar groups where there are similar themes. So, for example, I had stuff that was all about planning your business model, creating profitability, the profit first model. And I was like, do you know what? That actually all fits together. They're all the same little family of very similar themed ideas. Then I had another section of tips that I just randomly dumped on all over the floor as I was starting to organize them all and picking them all back up again and going, would this marry with anyone else? Would this belong to a family with any of these other post-it notes on the floor? I had stuff about organization, about systems, about standard operating procedures, about creating procedures, about hiring virtual assistants. And I was like, you guys all fit together as well. Then I had stuff all about creating courses and creating workshops. And I put all of those little post-it notes together. And then I had a load of post-it notes that were all to do with marketing. So I put them all in a big line that sat naturally together. And what that ended up forming for me, it actually ended up forming these kind of 11, I ended up having 11 rows of kind of similar themed topics. And I basically went, wow. So that basically would be January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 11 months, 11 stages that people would go through. So if I spread that out over 11 months and took December off, that could basically be next year's delivery model for the Legends Lab. Wow. So let's change it from a membership. What you might find that as you're grouping all of these little groups together, let's pretend you're creating an online course, a self-study course. This becomes module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. You get the point. If this is a coaching program, again, it's going to be section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. It could be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. It could be module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. All you're doing is one, brain dumping. What does somebody need to do? What do they need to know? And how do they need to feel? What attitudes do they need to have? What mindsets do they need to have in place by the time they have finished your thing? And then you're just going to start grouping them together into families. Here's a little bit of me basically teaching you curriculum design without using any curriculum design lingo. When we're taking these topics, these things we want to teach, and then we group them together into modules, we must remember that modules are purely there to organize content. You do not ever need to have exactly the same matching number of lessons in modules. I do not know where that came from. I have so many people say to me, oh no, I want exactly 5 lessons in every single module. And I'm like, why? What's that got to do with anything? And they're like, because there has to be an equal number of lessons in every module, doesn't there? No! All a module is they're just categories. They're just categorizing your themes of your content. It's an organizational method, right? It's not there must be a set number of lessons in every module. When it comes to creating any kind of educational training, please remember that modules or sections, they're just categories to organize stuff. Some modules might have 1 lesson in it. It might have 1 video in it. Some others might have 25 because that's what it took for you to teach what you wanted to cover in that particular section. Just want to throw that out there because people get so tied up with this kind of stuff. Okie dokie. Cool. Everyone happy? Next. So we've got an idea of, we brain dumped roughly what we want to teach people, what we would take them through, what steps we've taken to get the result that we've got in our lives to become the expert in the thing we're an expert in. Now, if you're creating a membership, this might be the next kind of step that you might like to take. Now, again, I'm saying you might like because there is no curriculum design police out there either. I'm just teaching you the ways that I personally have been creating courses for decades, 2 decades nearly, and have made 7 figures doing this. This is how I organize myself. You can go, that wouldn't work for me. Ignore it if it's not going to work for you. Some of you might like to use this method next if you're creating a membership. If you've now got these families or these groups of content that you would love to cover in your membership, what you want to do now is start thinking about this profitability section. How can I make people stay in my membership as long as possible? How can I organize this so that it's clear for me and clear for my students when they join what they have to look forward to? how can I now start organizing this into practical delivery? Cool. That's simple, because when we now look at the months of the year, we can now say this particular section, this post-it note, I'll deliver maybe as a free workshop. That might act as a nice lead magnet to bring people into the membership. This particular post-it note, I might do a whole 21-day challenge on that in January. This particular post-it note, I might just make a pre-recorded workshop that I'll just record myself at home on Zoom and I'll dump it in the portal. This particular post-it note, I might make that a live group training that I'll run once in the group training section, right? Oh, that particular post-it note, I might pre-record that as a 10-day challenge that I run in October. So essentially, what you're doing, if this is a membership, is you're now organize how and when you're going to deliver each of those pieces of information in a way that, for instance, my green section up here might be lead generation. I have chosen a post-it note from my floor exercise back here, and I've taken 12 of those to be free public workshops, exactly what you're on now. Why? Because some people might be new, might go, Sarah, she's a bit of all right. She knows what she's doing. I like her. I like that stuff. I like how fast and practical she's teaching. I'm going to go join her membership. Cool. It's a lead generation. It's how I get email addresses. It's how I give people that little taste of me to see if they like me. It's what I give people instead of them picking my brain over a coffee, which I don't have time for. So this is now also doing a second thing. Keep this in mind. Now we know what and when we're delivering. Now I also have by default planned out my marketing for the year 2. Why? Because if I know that in April I'm delivering a Workflows That Wow workshop, in March, all of my marketing is going to be about workflows. And I'm going to be saying, come and join my workshop on Workflows That Wow that's happening next month. See what we're doing here? Yeah. Now I've planned, by planning my things and my topics, I've planned my marketing too. Now, FYI, I am professional at this. I have been doing this for years. So you do not need to have a calendar that's as absolutely nuts as mine is, right? This is extremely high intensity type level to keep up with. And I do not expect anyone to produce, perform, or teach at this level. I would recommend, a free thing, maybe once a month or every other month. And you might want to have one kind of teaching a month for you to be able to stay on top of it without completely burning out, at least in your first year. Okay, you can see how you go after your first year and add more elements onto that if you want to. Remember, there's no right or wrong. This is your program, your delivery, and you do it at your pace and your personal capacity. Now, if this was a course or a coaching program, then obviously you're simply going to plan when that coaching program will take place. If it's going to be a live in-person bootcamp or training, when's it going to take place? You're going to need enough time to do the promotion, to do the marketing, to do the lead generation for it. So choose a date and time that's going to give you the space and the capacity to do that. Make sure you're not putting stuff back to back to back that's going to burn you out trying to do it all at the same time. I only run 3 boot camps a year, and as you can see, they have a whole quarter between them so that I can do the marketing to build up and ramp up to the next one. I only have 1 group coaching program a year in March, okay, so that I can give my all to those students, and then I can continue running my membership as normal so that I don't burn out. But this, either way, no matter what kind of product you're building, if you're producing one-off mini courses, maybe you're going to put down in your calendar here what month each one of those mini courses are going to be published by, so that you have committed yourself to getting stuff done. Hail to the year. All right, next step, my friends, is to now create a visual pathway. What's a visual pathway? This is actually how you massively increase the sales of your thing. It's where you basically are now visualizing, making the intangible tangible, right? Knowledge is invisible. But when you create a visual pathway for people, for your coaching program, for your course, or for your membership, like what's on the screen here, your conversion rates will dramatically increase. your opt-in rates will hugely increase, because when people can see what they're getting, when they can see either the stages that they'll go through in that course or that coaching program, or they see the stuff that they're going to receive as a member of that membership, they are going to be much more confident to join it. So you can create these in Canva. It's just called an infographic. If you go into Canva, type in infographic, you'll find loads of cool templates like this that you can then edit and put in your visual pathway for your steps or your modules for your course or your coaching program or your membership. And remember that this is changing all the time. Loads of people are like, oh, I'm not going to create mine until I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm really clear on it. Guys, year one is version 1. Just get it out there. Guess what? You change it next year. You can change it as you go. Again, there's no membership police out there that are going to say, oh, I can't believe you updated it. How rude. Not at all. Next, you're going to create your course outline, because now you have an idea of roughly what you're going to be creating, the main themes that you'll be covering. Now we need to go into, for instance, that workshop, that coaching program, that course, or that membership. And we need to create the teaching content for it next. Because once we know what the teaching content is going to be for that particular course or workshop or whatever it is that we're running, then we can go market it, because that's selling it, right? So this is where your friend ChatGPT comes in. Woohoo. I've got a prompt for you on the screen. If you do want to grab your phones right now and take a photograph of the screen, please do while I take a sip of water. So this here is basically a prompt that you can pop into ChatGPT to help you with your course outline. Gone are the days when you had to hire me for tens of thousands of dollars to help you create a curriculum. So yes, none of our jobs are safe. I went to university for 7 years and did a teaching degree and a curriculum design degree, only for ChatGPT to come along and completely obliterate my job, right? But am I still here? Yes. Why? Because I've learned how to embrace AI and teach you how to use it to still get the outcomes that I was teaching anyway. So what I want you to do is now go to ChatGPT and pop in a prompt like the one that you have on your screen. You're going to say, hey, my name is, I'm an expert in, here are the things I like to teach. Here are specifically the outcomes that I love to give to people. Here is what I want people to achieve. Here's what I want them to be able to do. Here's how I want them to feel. Here's what attitudes and behaviors I want them to have. Here there are changes that I want to see them to see in their lives. Here's the pains and frustrations that I don't want them to suffer with anymore. Please help me create a sales page. Now, even if you don't know what those answers are yet, you can now just go to ChatGPT and say, I'm an expert in Facebook ads. Help me create a course. And it will. So use this tip. It's going to then break down for you all of the modules and all of the suggested lessons that you'll cover. If it's a membership, it might give you a whole plan for the year, especially if at this point you also jump into ChatGPT those main themes that you've already come up with. This is the point at which, especially when I'm sat with a client, we'll sit and come up with those main themes first and plan out their business model that's going to work best for them and the type of structure that's going to work best in their business for maximum profitability. We'll then just go, here are all the things I want to cover and teach. Please consider this. Now write me the course outline. Bam, it's going to write it to that. Of course, if it's a workshop, you're going to say, this is a 90-minute workshop that I'm delivering to business owners on, I know how to do food photography. Bam. Please create the workshop outline for me. And it's going to come up with the whole outline. Amazing. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I've already covered everything that's on this slide. I just did it earlier. This is all about organizing everything into groups and not making every single module the same thing. We've covered that already. So as part of this, now we know what we're going to teach. We've got our outline from ChatGPT. We're now going to ask ourselves, how are we going to teach this? Please, for all of that is holy, for all of the gods on earth, please make sure that you understand that a PDF is not a course. A PDF is a PDF. And if you sell something titled as a course and they just get a PDF, they're going to be extremely disappointed because they expected a course. And they will ask you for a refund. Okay, if you went to university and someone gave you an electronic PDF and said, have fun in the end, I think you'd be asking for a refund on your HEX debt. Okay, a course is called a course because it is led and delivered by a teacher. A workshop or a webinar is expected that it is being taught or delivered or facilitated by a teacher, an instructor, a trainer, a speaker, or a presenter. So therefore, my friends, if you're creating any kind of course, coaching program, or membership, please make sure that at least 70% of it is being delivered by video. The teaching element is you speaking, delivering the teaching. Now, with the other resources that you have, workbooks, worksheets, downloads, templates, transcripts, right? All these things that you can choose to add to any kind of program. These should be supporting documents. They should not be the method of delivery. You are the method of delivery. You are the method of teaching. Your resources are complementary additions. They're things that aid, add to, enhance what you're teaching. Okay? Your teaching means teaching. And I know that some of you would rather knock your own teeth out and perform a lobotomy on yourself than turn the camera on. The only way for you to get past this and get good at this is to just keep doing it. Looking down the lens of the camera, speaking to human beings, remembering that you're just talking to another person. You've been doing that your whole life. You know how to talk to other people. If you did say yes to going for the coffee, to have your brains picked, you wouldn't have prepared a whole script before you went for the coffee at the cafe, would you? No, you would wait to see what questions they asked you. And because it's the thing that you love and that you know all about, you would just answer their questions and start chatting to them. When you turn on that camera, whether it's on your phone or on the webcam, you must remember you are just talking to other human beings that don't know what you know yet. Okay? Okay. The next step is what? Promote and sell our offer already? Yeah. Why? Because we now know what we're going to teach. We now have an outline. We know what we will be teaching. So this is the point at which I, my business, now go and create the sales page. Because once you've got that sales page up, you can start taking registrations. You can start taking expressions of interest. You can start generating a waiting list. Or you can straight up start selling it. So if any of you go onto my sarahcordiner.com/events page on my website, if you go to my Facebook business page and go to events, you will see that I have published my events for the next 12 months, some of which don't even have the sales pages ready yet for. But I've still got them up and out there so that people can see them, can start generating interest, can press the interested button, can reach out to me and email me about it. I am making sure that we are doing as much promotion as we possibly can as soon as we possibly can. So the first thing I do is I now know what I'm going to teach because I've got the outline, whether it's a workshop, course, coaching program, or membership. We're now going to make sure that we have a sales page set of text that is going to create the highest conversion rates possible. And guess what? I've made you a bot. Some of you have been on my training in the last couple of weeks. You already have access to this bot. Don't worry, I'm going to give it to you next. In a course, coaching program, workshop, webinar, or membership, there are some very specific ways that your sales page must be structured in order for anyone to buy it or opt into it at all. If you want anyone coming to any of your training, there is a very specific way that you must write your sales page. So it'll be things like, as an example, I've got up here on the screen, the very top part of your page, this bit here, this top bit, it's called top of the fold or the thumb scroll, the first thumb, is the most important part of your page. It is the point at which people will either stay and buy or will instantaneously leave and never ever come back. Too many people will put in this first fold some really, and I'm going to say stupid, I don't mean to be negative, right? Like they put something really fluffy that doesn't even explain what their thing is, right? I've literally had people come in here and say, my course isn't selling. And I say, let's look at your sales page. And it will be something like the Bumble Star Trifecta experiment. I don't even know what that even means. That's not a real thing. I've obviously just made that up. But it will be like this really weird word that they've made up or this really weird concept that they've made up. And then it will just be like really fluffy stories and things. It just doesn't say anything. What it needs to say is a very clear headline that tells you exactly what it is, exactly what outcome they get, and explicitly how long, in what way it's being delivered. So for instance, the Business Automation Bootcamp, what is it? Set up your business tech and put your business on autopilot in just 2 days. All right. It clearly tells you the experience. In a workshop, you'll see that all of mine will say something like how to create a custom GPT in just 90 minutes. In this 90-minute workshop with Sarah Cordiner, you will, but it so clearly says what it is that people are buying. And then there are some really specific sections that I'm not going to go through massively into detail here. You first of all need to, as you scroll down on your sales page, explain what they're going to get. What are the outcomes they will have from that thing? If they like that, they will either opt in or keep scrolling for more. You're then going to talk to them about the problems that they're going to get rid of. When you look at my sales page, if I can click on this, I think I can. Yes, I can. I just want to give you an example of this. Here I go into the problems. There are 3 simple things. No more unnecessary, annoying admin. No more playing ping pong with appointments. No more expensive contractors and unreliable staff. Here's what you're going to get. Here are the outcomes. It's just a checklist. It's nothing fancy. It's a checklist, but it simply just says, this is what you're going to get. It makes it so clear to the person reading your page what they're going to see, what they're going to get as an outcome. Bam, they're either going to opt in because that was good enough, or they're going to carry on reading. Okay, what else do we have in our sales page? We're now going to have a detailed outline of every single thing they're going to learn. Really specific, detailed outline. So as they go through that particular sales page, you'll see here's one little element. Here's everything you're going to learn. Here's another element, everything you're going to learn. Here's another, you get the point, right? What else have I done? I've added pictures. Remember, knowledge is intangible. People can't see it. So when you make it tangible by creating an image that represents that thing they're going to learn, it makes it easier for them to grasp. It makes it feel like they're buying a thing. So creating these images also is a critical part of your sales page to increase those conversions and those sales. You're going to be scattering the buy button throughout the page as well, so that people have continuous opportunities to make the buying decision. Of course, you want to add some kind of video. My content creation bootcamp does teach you how to make these videos very easily using things like CapCut. And then, of course, you're going to have your buy buttons and options on there. Now, I know that's a lot to take in. There are just a few critical things you need to know about the sales page. But this is the page you guys want to see now. I have trained a bot, and I've created a ChatGPT bot for you that is free, that has been trained in exactly this structure, and will create and write your sales page for your thing for you in exactly the manner that it needs to be high converting. I have trained this with my exact structure and extremely detailed instructions behind the back end of the bot. So you can scan this. It should open up on ChatGPT on your phone if you've got the ChatGPT app on your mobile. Otherwise, you can scan this and then send yourself the link to it to open it on desktop. But all you're going to do is chuck into this bot that outline that you have just created. Literally just chuck the outline into this bot, and it is going to potentially ask you some questions if it needs a bit of further clarification. It's going to create the whole sales page copy for you. Who loves it? Who likes this? Is this helpful for you? Give us a drop in the comments if you're finding this helpful. How good is this? Again, people used to pay me thousands of dollars to sit and write this manually for them because it would take me days. Now we can help people get this drafted out, and often it just needs a tiny tweak. Love it. Boom. Sonia's used it many times. That's amazing. Andy says this is next level. Love it. Can you demo it? We've been asked. I don't have time to do the demo today. Literally, you just type in the bot. I want to create a course or a workshop on X for X, and it will help you create a sales page. It helps if you have already, as I said, got that outline done in the steps I've just shown you in the first place, but it will do it for you. It's already been trained. Okie dokie. What's next? Building your sales page. So now you've got the copy, the text from that sales page creator bot. Now you can go and create your sales page in whichever sales page builder you use. Now, those of you using Techmatics, how many people are using Techmatics? Give me your hands up. As of today, the day of recording this today is the 12th of February, 2025. As of tonight, you will have this template in your Techmatics account. I've made it for you. I have made it for you. Okay, so you will go into funnels, and inside your funnels, you will have a sales page template. Now, by the way, there's actually already hundreds of sales page templates in there, but this specific one is the one that has been crafted and structured to match the sales page copy creator bot, which matches my exact method for creating high converting sales pages for any kind of educational workshop, webinar, event, course, coaching program, or membership. So you're simply going to go into Techmatics, find that template, and then you're going to just copy and paste your text over from your sales page bot and change your colors and add any images you want to add. The structure has been made for you to just copy and paste everything over. Amazing. Now, if you're not using Techmatics, why not? Might as well save yourself a massive bunch of headaches and jump on over to techmatics.com, grab a free trial. You get all of our templates, you get lots and lots of support. And if you are not yet using Techmatics or you prefer to use another platform, your page builder that you use would simply just need to be structured in the exact order that the sales page creator bot has written your copy. Because again, I've trained that bot to write the copy in the order that meets psychological sales techniques and psychological sales strategy. It builds on and overcomes objections in the right order. Even though you can't really see it, it is actually an invisible structure that is put in that order in that way for a reason. Trust me on this. It's what I do for a living. Now, what's the next step? So you've created a sales page. You've pressed publish. Brilliant. Now, what you want to do is make sure that people can start opting into this thing, this event, this course, this workshop, this coaching program, this webinar, this membership as soon as possible. I create on my website a web page called, I have a web page called sarahcordiner.com/events. You might like to do the same on your website. This will list all of my upcoming events. And when I've got the page ready, the sales page ready, I simply hyperlink the page to each of the images so that as people go there and as I'm building the pages out, people can easily go and find the page to register for each of those different kinds of events. This is, first of all, getting you search engine listed. If you're publishing this stuff on a website, you're going to get listed. You now have the sales page itself that's going to get search engine listed. You have the events page that has all of your events that's being search engine listed. And now I strongly recommend you also add that sales page as an event on Facebook events, on your page and on your personal profile, as an event on LinkedIn, as an event on public sites like Eventbrite, TryBooking, Humantix, because this is how you get more eyeballs. And the more further in advance you publish this stuff, the more eyeballs it will accrue. So I want you to put these events out as soon and as early as you possibly can. And again, what I do, if you go now and go to my Sarah Cordiner business page, go to events, you will see there are events later in the year that there is no sign up link for at all on my Facebook business page. All it is, the event's been created, the date and time have been created because I've done my calendar for the year. I've got the title in there. I've got a cover image in there. And in the description, it simply says, in this workshop, we will cover the basic information. Link to sign up soon to follow will be updated here. Email me on sarah@sarahcordiner.com if you want more information or have any questions. So at least the event is out because people can press interested. When I have got the sales page ready, we just update the event and add the sales page link inside it then. But we're giving ourselves as long a lead time as we possibly can to get people to join that webinar, that workshop, that event, that course, that coaching program, that membership. Woohoo! Get the point? Nice. Next step. We are now going to create your portal. You've planned your course, you've got your outline, you create your sales page, you've stuck the sales page out there and got it in the beginning stages of being promoted. Now we're going to go in behind the scenes at the tech end, and you're going to start thinking about if someone did sign up for this today and that thing isn't open or doesn't run for another 3 months, what are they going to see when they get in there? Because they're going to need to have some kind of notice that will simply say something like, this is a group coaching program that's not running until March next year. Or it's going to need to say, this is a membership where we have a new group call once a month. The first call is not until the 1st of June, 2025. All right. Either way, you're using this portal to provide instructions to your students. It's going to be things like a welcome video. Welcome to my thing. Here's what to expect inside this thing. Here's how it's going to work. If it's a membership, if it's a coaching program, you're going to want to have a lesson inside the portal there that's called live call dates and times, where you're going to literally just in the text area list down all of the Zoom calls, dates, times, and links. If there's going to be live calls, live training, or live workshops as part of that program or that membership. You might have a lesson in there that's called Book a Call with Me, where it links to your calendar so people can book one-on-ones. Maybe you're going to add a community to your portal. And again, if you're using Techmatics has communities which look and feel like Facebook groups. You don't need any other external community platforms like Circle or Mighty Networks or any of those things. Techmatics is your communities too. It's also the portal, this place, this holder is going to be where you will upload any pre-recorded training videos. It's going to be where you upload any recordings of any live calls that you do or have done. It's going to be where you add or upload any files or resources that are going to come in addition to your training. But this portal part is what comes next. And there are a number of different types of platforms that you can create this setup in. Now, I own Techmatics, which is an all-in-one business platform. And of course, I'm completely biased because it is pretty amazing. But I want to teach you about the 4 different types of platforms because it's very important that you understand the different types of platforms that are out there and what they don't do so that you're a bit more informed as you go into this process of choosing the tech side. The 4 types of platforms are, number 1, an online course marketplace. How many people here have heard of Udemy? Udemy, Udemy. Anyone heard of that? Chat. So yeah, Udemy is a marketplace. A marketplace is basically like an Amazon, but for courses. This is where anyone can go along and put their course up on that platform, on Udemy, for example. Udemy has, I think, something like 40 million students. It's ridiculous. 40 million students registered on that platform buying courses. It's a great way to get found. However, the problem with marketplaces is it's like a supermarket. If we sell our bread in a supermarket, we don't own the customers. The supermarket owns the customers. Okay? You have to understand on a marketplace, you do not get your customers' contact details. You do not get your students' email addresses, and you have very strict rules around how you can communicate with them. You also don't get all of your money. The platform can discount your course to whatever they want, and they can take whatever commission they want, essentially. Okay. So this is where, when it comes to marketplaces, I strongly recommend you only use those for selling your cheap lead magnet type programs that you're happy to be heavily discounted, and see these marketplaces as an opportunity to get yourself exposure. You're essentially putting your bread on a supermarket shelf. There's other people there walking by, and if your bread looks sexy enough, people are going to buy it. Okay, but they're not your customers, and you can have that big yellow for sale discount sticker stuck on you at any time outside of your control. So do not put your expensive or decent paid programs on a marketplace ever, because you're losing money and you're losing control of your business, and you don't get any of that contact information. So please make sure that you use marketplaces wisely. However, to give you some idea, putting your free and cheap stuff on there is amazing. And it was a very big part of my strategy to going from corporate as an unknown nobody in the public space to really building myself an audience. I've got something like over 60,000 students on Udemy at the moment, and I've never marketed it ever. I just put stuff there and ta-da, students are on the platform. So it is pretty good for people finding you. You are allowed to put an instructor's bio in your profile, which has your website and your socials, and students can choose to go and follow you and find you and reach out to you, and many do. I do actually have a lot of students who have come to me in the past that came from Udemy and discovered me there. So I want you to know that first difference. That is an online course marketplace. The second type of platform is called a learning management system. These are your systems that are specifically focused on course creation, course hosting, and course delivery. These are your platforms like the LearnWorlds, Teachable. These guys have really specialized in on that learning management system element. You can upload your courses, you can create a course sales page on there, you can manage the students in the course area. However, they really are only focused on that learning portal part. You still, to have your whole business work, going to need to have things like your email platform. You're still going to need a way of doing your social media scheduling. You're still going to need calendar booking software. You're still going to need to connect together all of these other elements to make your business work. So yes, they're good. They're easy to use. I very much love them. However, bear in mind, they're not going to be the all-encompassing solution to running your whole business operation. And you're going to need to zap together a lot of different tools for everything to work, which is expensive and, quite frankly, a nightmare. So the fourth type of platform is the all-in-one platform, and is exactly why I ended up creating my version of Techmatics, which is it's based on GHL. Those who haven't heard of it, it's a high-level platform. Basically, it's like a SaaS builder, and then we've gone on and we've added a lot of our own features, APIs, custom add-ons, and so much more to make it a very unique offering. But the reason why I got to the stage of creating Techmatics and going down this road of having this business as well is because I was in exactly that position of having a learning management system. I then had to have thousands of dollars a month to run ActiveCampaign. I had all of the other hundreds of dollars coming out for Calendly, for Trello, for my Hootsuite and Buffer, for doing my social media scheduling, all of these other tools that basically the softwares and subscriptions just kept racking up in costs every single month as my lists and contacts grew. And there were so many restrictions and limitations. If I added new courses, I had to upgrade to another level of the tiered subscription again. It just got so expensive. And then every time a Zap broke that was connecting that tool to that tool, admin fell through holes, people didn't get delivered their thing. And it just, quite frankly, was an absolute expensive nightmare. So when I discovered that there was this GHL platform that I could then go on and customize and build a unique solution on top of, I absolutely just cried with joy and made it happen in a matter of months, because this now brought my entire business into one space. This is where you have your websites and your sales pages for your courses in that one platform. You have all of your funnels in that one platform. You have all of your email automations, email marketing, and automated student check-in sequences all in the one platform. You have the courses, the communities, the memberships, everything all in that one platform. You've got your calendar booking appointments all in the one platform, your social media scheduling all in the one platform. You get the point, right? The point is, instead of now having thousands of dollars and lots of different subscriptions, you've got one and it's in one place. And everything talks to everything because it's all under the same roof. Even where we've added on APIs, we've done it in ourselves internally, so you're not having to zap together different tools. So that's what Techmatics is. And obviously, as you guys know, I host my entire membership on there. I've had over 280,000 students over the years go through my programs. So migrating these hundreds of courses, and I'm talking thousands and thousands of hours worth of videos are in here. You get unlimited video hosting, so you don't need external video hosting providers either. You're allowed unlimited courses, unlimited students, and all of this is done for your monthly fixed fee, which is absolutely a game changer, even if I do say so myself. It's amazing. Go check it out. All right, next slide. I hope that gives you now a little bit of a better idea around those 4 different types of platforms. As you can probably see, yes, I'm biased towards an all-in-one because I have one, but when you look at the features and the pricing, you'll see why. Now, the other thing I want to share with you about portals like this and about memberships, for those of you who are thinking about memberships, this is, I just want to take a screenshot of an example of how you can still include lots of different topics in the back end. Now, I've only got the top part of the screenshot of this here. This is a screenshot of my membership. Those people who go into the Legends Lab, as I've shown you as an example today, there are 11 different sort of categories and sections inside my Legends Lab. And what I've done to help organize that content, because there's so many different trainings, so many different workshops, is I've simply used the course thumbnail for each workshop, for each course, for each challenge, to group and organize and categorize all of the different types of content in there. What I've done is I've made the rainbow section is like my admin area. It's the bit where it has the dates and the times for the monthly workshops, the dates and the times for the Q&A sessions, the dates and the times for any live calls, and any kind of other admin stuff. Then I have pink little thumbnails with the number 1 on the top left-hand corner. This is everything that you get in section 1, which is all about creating your IP framework in your particular business. Just giving you an example. What happens when you move down to number 2 is all the cards turn orange and they have a number 2 in there. And that's all of the stuff, all of the workshops, all of the resources that are about monetization and profitability. As they scroll down through the membership, the cards turn yellow and they are marked with a number 3. And those are all of the trainings, workshops, webinars, and so on that are about organization, hiring VAs, creating SOPs and systems. You get the point. So this is what I want to try and help you see and visualize. If you've got loads of different topics that you want to include in your memberships or your coaching programs or your resources libraries, this is one really smart way to do it, if I do say so myself, because it's going to help you organize everything and it's going to help your students really easily find what they need to find. I know, because I know my sections now off by heart. If someone says to me, Sarah, I'm trying to find a course on how to set up my tech. I'm like, cool, go to section 7, the gold section. That's where they'll find all of that stuff. Isn't that cool? Now, these are just thumbnails. These are just images. You can make these look however you want. You just go to Canva, you make the image and you upload it. So you can totally brand this to however you want yours to be. Now, inside the portal from the back end, all you'd be doing is inside the courses area is you would just be simply adding either these modules, which are marked by the gray area, and the lessons, which are marked by the white area. So if this was a membership, I would have a welcome module. Then I might, for instance, have another module that would be live call recordings. I might have another module that's section 1 topic, section 2 topic, section 3 topic. You get the point. But again, remember, you can lay this out however you like. There really is no rules around how you present your content to your students. This is just some ideas. But basically, you're going to now go into the back end, this workshop you've just published, that coaching program sales page you've just published, whatever it is you've just put out there to the world. This is where you're essentially now just going to go inside the courses area and just say, if it's a course that's coming up in the future, here's the date and time this will be running. If it's a membership, here's all our live calls. If it's a coaching program, this coaching program starts on the 1st of July, 2020 something. Get the point. So that people could just have this placeholder that gives them all the information they need when they do log in. I'm just looking at some of the questions, 1 second. So Colleen has asked, I am just in the process. Sorry, I've just lost, where's Colleen's comment gone? I've lost it. Okay, here we go, found it, sorry. Colleen has asked, if I'm in the process of looking at hiring a virtual assistant, would Techmatics be a solution instead of hiring? So I'm just not sure if I'm 100% understanding the exact question you're asking there. Techmatics does have in-house support if you are looking for support with your Techmatics account. You can basically, first of all, join one of our free training calls for free that happen every single weekday, where you'll come and learn how to use a feature. We've also got the free Techmatics training course that you or your virtual assistants can go and watch to learn how to do everything. We also have the opportunity for you to hire our tech experts by the hour. So for just $50, you get 60 minutes with a tech expert. They'll take over your screen and do whatever you want them to do for up to 60 minutes at a time. So that's what we have in-house. Now, if you are hiring a virtual assistant of your own, we do have some partners that are well-versed in using Techmatics that are actively virtual assistants for a large number of our clients at the moment. If you go to the Techmatics Facebook group, you can go put a post up in there and just say, who's the Techmatics VAs then? And everyone will identify themselves in that thread. It's the best way to find people. Alternatively, if you're looking to hire your own team, basically anyone who has, because we're built on top of GHL, high level, anyone who has high level certification is going to be an absolute go-to virtual assistant for you. But absolutely, we have a lot of people using Techmatics who don't ever log in themselves. They've just got virtual assistants who deal with our support chat and do all the onboarding and manage their whole accounts for them, just to give you some ideas there. Absolutely. Okay, what other questions have we got in here? What else have we got? Christine said, I've got my own high-level account. Am I able to use this under yours? Absolutely. So just FYI, if any of you have any kind of high-level based account, because we're based on that system, you can actually transfer your account to Techmatics. It will transfer pretty much every single thing over from your existing account under the Techmatics umbrella, so that you then also gain all of our templates, all of our added on features, such as, for example, we've got the Trello Kanban boards. That's not a GHL feature. These are things that we've added on as additional features ourselves to our own platform. You gain all of the templates, all of the automations and workflows, all of the sales pages that we've created for you as well. You gain all of our 24-hour live chat support, access to our tech experts, our daily training calls. So you basically keep exactly what you've got if you transfer to Techmatics, but gain everything that we have as well, just so that everyone knows. We're all very transparent about how everything works here. Everyone's saying that thank you, that the Legends Lab is amazing and all of the questions that you ever need are answered in there. Thank you so much, Christine. That's really nice of you to also say. It's unbelievable how much is in the Legends Lab, right? And this is the case of the fact that, guys, when you're creating a membership, the beauty of it is that you keep adding to it over time. So it becomes more and more valuable. When you're going to launch a membership, I strongly recommend that you start it off at a lower early bird price to get people in there. The more questions they ask, the more content you're directed to deliver. And as that portal of content grows, then you can start increasing your pricing. My Legends Lab, once upon a time when I first launched it, was a teeny tiny $47. That was 10 years ago. It was $47 a month. By the way, I still to this day have clients that are still on that grandfathered price because they have been with me that long. They are still in the Legends Lab that back then was called the Edupreneur Academy. So some people are still getting everything in there for that low price. It's only $150 today, so it's not exactly like it's gone up massively because, again, remember at the very beginning of this workshop, we talked about our goals. My goal is one-to-many. So this is my low ticket price thing. I make it as insanely valuable as possible. So that's what enables me to maintain the minimum 3-year lifespan that most of my clients are when they join my membership, which is very cool. Okay, nice. I'm going to carry on teaching. That's some of the questions I saw just popping up there. Next, we are going to creating our course, our workshop, our coaching program, our membership academy. Next, we're going to start creating our actual resources, our actual training itself. So how are we going to do that? Now, first of all, remember, again, I'm going to say it again. You do not need to complete a Hollywood production. They are not coming here to watch a movie. They don't care if something goes pip, pop, wings, as is, bop, right? They don't care how fancy your logo is. They want the answers to the questions. People do not go to Google and go, I really liked Sarah's makeup in that video. Right? So I don't know where to get my hair and makeup done for me. They go to Google profile and they leave a review saying, oh my God, that was so helpful. You should totally do this workshop if you're thinking about getting this result. So you are going to choose mobile phone or webcam. Mobile phones today, all of them are good enough. They all shoot at pretty much 4K resolution, which is up there with the best video resolution you can get. If you're going to use a webcam, you want a webcam that records at 4K resolution and or 1080p. And this is going to be perfectly sufficient for you to create high quality training videos. Okay. Doesn't matter what brand today, as long as it's 4K and 1080p. You don't even need to know what that means. Just say, I want a camera that's 4K and 1080p. And if you see that in the description of the thing you're buying, it's going to be good enough. Now, people do like to know what equipment I'm using. So as you guys can see, I do have a really good quality webcam. The one I'm using is called the Facecam Pro. I'm just going to put that in the chat for you. Facecam Pro. That's what I'm using currently right now. It's not at the cheap end, I'm afraid. Of course, this is literally my full-time life being on camera. So I did go and invest in something. Off the top of my head, it was about $350 or something like that. And that's obviously not the cheapest kind of camera that you can get. You can get 4K 1080p quality cameras for less than $100 today. So I just want to throw that out there, but people do always like to know what I'm using. Next is the audio. Audio is so important. You can, when you're filming videos, get away with just having even less resolution than that, recording in Zoom. But if you sound like you're presenting from the bottom of a tin of baked beans, people will turn off very quickly. Right? You do not want that nasty, tinny, echoey sound going on behind you, because people will tolerate a blurry visual. They absolutely will not tolerate really scratchy sounds in their ears. So you're going to want to get yourself a good microphone if you're going to be doing lots of teaching, training, presenting, particularly if you're creating memberships when there's going to be lots of production. And I recommend anything by like the Yeti X, anything by Rode is good, and anything by Sony is brilliant. I am using the Yeti X right here, and I do have another microphone that travels with me, which is the Rode. They're great. I do find that the Rode has much softer sound, and I actually prefer using the Rode for doing podcasts because it has much more of a, I don't know, it's more of a nice sound, whereas this is great for teaching. Now, the other thing that you'll see that I have here is, and again, sorry, my microphone's going to disappear. This is called a boom arm. Now, what this does is it basically is connected to my desk, and it allows me to move my microphone around. I have a standing desk, so when I stand up, I can stand up, right? You get the point. This enables you to always have the microphone very close to your mouth, because if it's over here, can you hear the difference already? Already, it's hard for you to hear me. So if I've got a microphone that's sat on my desk way far away from my face, we're already going to reduce the sound quality even when we've got a good microphone. So I do recommend having a boom arm. You can get these on, obviously I've got a posh one, this is a Rode one, but you can actually get these on Amazon for as little as $10-15, okay? Less than that, $10 you can get these boom arms for. Obviously those cheaper ones are a bit more flimsy. I've broken about 7 of them, and that's why I thought I better just go and get a decent one. I think my 5-year-old has swung off of this and it's still fine, so it's definitely worth the money. The next thing is cool. We've got some basic equipment. The third piece of equipment that I highly recommend if you can't position yourself in front of a window is please make sure you've got good lighting. Because if I didn't have my lights on now, it'd be quite dark in this room. And that just makes the visual element of it almost feel quite dramatically reduced in quality just because of the light. All I have here is some selfie ring lights. You can get those from Kmart for less than $50. You can go to Amazon and buy these ring lights for $10. So you just need some good lighting on your face. You do wake up after filming, like not being able to see anything at all, but at least it looks nice, light and bright. Now, recording, the studio, the location, the filming location. Actually, I'm going to just edit this because there's another one that I'm using right now, which I really love for also recording videos. And this one we're using right now is called StreamYard. And I do have affiliate links for all of these, by the way, if you do want to check them out. So my favorite one for doing video editing that you can also film in is called Descript. And Descript, I do have a promo for it up on the screen there. Descript is a recording platform and it is an editing platform. And simply recording anything into it or uploading any video into it transcribes the video instantaneously, and editing the text edits the video. So if I said the word bananas and I wasn't meant to say that, I delete the word bananas in the text and it literally cuts the word bananas out of the video. So it makes saving and editing videos super easy. And the other thing I like to film in is exactly what I'm filming in right now, and it's called Descript. Okay, so Descript is, sorry, I just said Descript. This is StreamYard. This isn't Descript. I'm filming right now in StreamYard. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen. So this is StreamYard. Now, of course, I am on the paid plan for this. I do also have a affiliate link for StreamYard. It's just sarahcordiner.com/StreamYard. And this basically is a platform that allows you to live stream across multiple social media platforms at the same time. It allows you to run live on-air webinars like I'm running right now at time of teaching. This is live and there's multiple people on it. It also allows you to just simply use it as a recording studio and record. And as you can see throughout this session, I've been popping up these little banners in my screen here. This is a feature that you get in StreamYard. You saw that I was able to pop people's questions up onto the screen. That's another feature of StreamYard. And this is one of the reasons why I like using this for both live events. Anyone here coming to my business automation bootcamp this week or getting the recording? So that's actually being delivered on StreamYard as well. And if any of you who were in my content creation bootcamp last year, this enables me to have a camera on me on the stage, a camera pointing at the audience, and a camera on the slides, so that the people who are watching this online get this really multi-dynamic experience from behind the scenes too. But today is not about how to use StreamYard, so that's all I'm going to say about that. The other places where you can record your videos is right inside Zoom. So many of my videos, my training videos, I've just literally gone into Zoom, started a meeting with myself, pressed record, and downloaded it from Zoom and added it into my portal. When somebody comes at me with a question saying, Sarah, help, I'm trying to upload something into here, how do I do it? I'll just literally go, cool, I've got 10 minutes till my next appointment, record the video in Zoom, dump it, upload it, message everyone back saying, hey, there's a new video in your portal. Not a Hollywood production, not a studio situation, just record the screen and teach. Loom is another one. Again, I have the paid version of Loom. This allows you to instantly record your screen and turn your camera on or off at the same time. Loom also transcribes everything for you too. And Camtasia has fallen behind everybody in the last few years. This used to be my favorite tool, but it's not kept up with AI in the same way that Descript and Loom and StreamYard have, basically, in terms of the quality. Now, the other thing you can do, and I don't recommend it at the moment, is creating AI videos to deliver your course for you. Descript is really good at this because you can actually train Descript and also HeyGen in your own voice. And basically, you just dump the text in of what you want it to teach. And now its latest feature, this was only updated last week, so in February 2025, AI's latest feature in Descript using the Underlord is that you can now get it to instantaneously add all of the B-roll videos, literally add cover video footage for you by just uploading text. And it will speak it for you, and it creates the video for you as well. It's absolutely next level insane. If you guys want to learn how to use the script, do come and join the Legends Lab, because we've got lots of training coming up on using this kind of software to create AI content. But again, remember, your people talking to people want to see people, they want to see you. So please try and avoid AI full delivery at this stage. It's not going down that well yet. Of course, times will change and people will become used to it. But at the moment, they want to learn from you. They want to learn from the expert. That's you and your face, your head, your years of experience, your stories, and your method of delivery. All right. Final step. Woo! Final step. How are we going? So now we have gone through all these stages of planning out a course, creating our course outline. We've got our plan for the year. We've created the sales page. We've started publishing this baby. We've created the portal and the hub behind the scenes. We've filmed all our videos and created our resources. Now we just want to get that automation in place so that when people join, they're automatically getting that access and they're being automatically followed up with. And we call this workflow automations inside the tech world. Now, this applies no matter what platform you're using, but of course, we use this in Techmatics. So inside Techmatics, as of today, you're also going to have this template, which is called a purchase confirmation order fulfillment sequence. Basically, if you're selling something from a webinar funnel, this is a pre-made for you workflow that you're just going to go in and edit by following the little description tags that I've put on your screen. And all you're going to do is simply change the welcome email. This will simply create a system whereby when somebody buys that thing from you, they automatically get this confirmation email. I have pre-written that email for you to include all of the students' login details that will auto-fill for you. All you're going to have to do is just add a little bit of fluff around the outside, around what your course or your thing or your membership's about. And it's also going to automatically send them a review request as well a week in. So this is going to then be used. You can add to this by saying, let's pretend you've got a 4-week coaching program. You're just going to press a little add step to say, wait for 1 week. Now send them a reminder email. Wait for another week, send them the second reminder email. Wait for a third week, send them the third reminder email. Wait for a 4th week, send them the final and 4th reminder email. The end. Okay. If this was a membership, then you're going to send a monthly repeating circular email that will just simply cycle and go back on itself every 30 days, reminding them to check the events page for the upcoming live sessions, for instance. But this is going to be the final step, putting this automation in place so that now you're going to go out there and start marketing. Your job now, after creating this thing, is to market. If you are not marketing, you will not be selling. Okay, this is not a get rich quick business. You will only sell to the volume at which you're marketing. I want you to take a photo with your phone of this. Oh, I just realized I wasn't showing my screen, was I? And I wasn't even looking at anything. I just want to double check that I didn't miss my page. I've just realized, guys, that I wasn't sharing my screen with you. My apologies. Let me just show you what I was just going through. There is, sorry, the workflow that I was just talking about. Okay, the workflow is pre-made for you. You're going to open up this template called Purchase Confirmation Order Fulfillment. Those of you watching me live right now, it's not in your account for another few hours. Those of you watching the recording, it will be in your Techmatics account by now. But basically, all you're going to do, where it says send confirmation email, in this green bit down here. I know you can't see this very well because they're little screenshots, but it says send confirmation email. You're just going to click on that email and it will then open up a template that I've pre-written that has all of the students' login and access information. It will auto-populate for you because I've put little custom fields in there. And basically in this sequence, you can just keep pressing add, wait for 7 days, and then add another email. Add, wait for 7 days, add another email. You get the point. But this is where now your job is to market this bad boy. Please get your phones right now and take a photo of this screen because these are a prompt that I want you to put into your ChatGPT today after this session. A lot of people go, I created a thing or I've got my business or I'm selling this product and I'm not making any money. And then I go, cool, show me your marketing you've done. And they'll go, oh, I put this post on my Facebook profile last week. I sent out an email last month. I did a reel on Instagram. And I'm like, cool, well done. Genuinely well done. That's more than a lot of people are doing. However, let's go and do some basic numbers, shall we? Because if you guys want to make some money, you need to know this number and you absolutely need to have this number so much so that it's almost going to be tattooed on your head. Do not recommend tattooing on the head, but I certainly recommend sticking a Post-it note on your screen so that it is imprinted in your mind. For example, those of you who are creating a membership, you're going to go to ChatGPT and you're going to type this in. If I run a membership that is X dollars per month and I have a churn rate of X%. Now, by the way, what's churn rate? If you don't know what yours is, expect it to be high. Okay. I would always overestimate your churn rate so that you can get a real number. Churn rate means how many people are leaving your membership. Okay. So if you don't know yet because you haven't created it yet, go and estimate your churn rate to be as high as 50%. That means that half the people are going to leave every month. Now, that is ridiculously high. And if that is your real churn rate, you need to come and speak to me immediately. That is a severe and serious problem in your business. Okay. You have got something very big to fix in your membership if you've got a 50% churn rate. Okay. However, I would estimate it to be at 50% so that you have a worst case scenario. Okay. I know you can get worse than 50. I've got a churn rate of X%. How many customers do I need to get in front of each month if my conversion rate from my public market is only 1%? What does this mean? This means, let's pretend you talk to a room of 100 of your perfect target customers. How many of them are likely to buy from you, do you reckon? If one of those people are likely to buy from you, you've got a sort of an approximate 1% conversion rate when you're doing your marketing. I can usually work this out when I go and do presentations in rooms. I've got a room full of 100. And, I can usually guarantee about 30 of them will become my customers. So I can usually sense there's about a 30% conversion rate in front of a room full of strangers when I'm speaking. Very different to when you're online, of course, but I'd recommend that you just put it at 1% because that's the lowest it can go. That's the worst case scenario, right? So again, always worst case scenario your numbers so that you're not overinflating. I prefer to make it as ugly as possible. So I work as hard as possible to reach those numbers. My goal is to reach X number of members in the next 12 months. Hit enter, and this is going to tell you how many people you actually need to get in front of. I've had so many people do 2 or 3 social media posts in a month and then come crying to me because they haven't sold any courses. Let's work this out, right? If only 2 social media posts went out, the average person's getting 200 views. For a start, not all of those 200 people were their target customer anyway. Let's bring it down to half. Let's say that only half of those 200 views were actually the target customer. So now you've only got in front of 100 people. So let's now assume that out of those 100 people, there's only 1% conversion rate. That leaves us with only 1 person that was potentially going to sign up. Now let's add another number in here. It takes on average 22 touch points for people to make a buying decision. So that 1 person from the 2 social media posts that we've put out, based on actual math, still needs to see another 21 posts by us before they'll consider buying. Oh, Your thing isn't shit, right? Your business isn't doomed if your thing isn't selling. You are simply not doing enough marketing. It's the simplest fix ever. So many people are like, oh my gosh, I've got no control, nothing's working. It is basic math, guys. It is simple, basic, scientific, measurable math. Yes, you can probably improve your sales page. Yes, you can probably improve the copy. Yes, you can probably do better marketing. But if you are getting in front of 9,200 of your perfect target customer consistently, based on this example, you will hit your goal. If you don't hit that number, you won't. And most people are drastically falling under these target numbers. And most people are not even remotely aware of what number they need to be hitting, which is why they don't hit it. So your marketing, guys, is absolutely critical to this particular number. And you're going to use a combination of marketing tactics, including organic content marketing. The more you can post, the better. Only less than 1% of the people actually following you see your stuff. I don't know how many people have been seeing my marketing for the content creation boot, the upcoming, business boot camp. But I have been posting 5 times a day on every single social media channel for the last 3 months about it. I've sent out multiple emails a week about it. I have been posting consistently. Some of you probably haven't even seen it and didn't know it exists. Oh, I've also been running paid ads. People do not see everything you post. So many people are like, oh no, but what if I look like I'm overposting? My friends unfollow me. First of all, goodbye to that shitty friend if they're not supporting you and cheering you on. But secondly, please know that even if I am following you, I don't even see the posts by my best friends, and I am a social media addict. The algorithm does not show us every single person's post every time they post it. So people aren't seeing yours either. You're going to be doing content marketing. You're going to be doing all kinds of general marketing, paid marketing. You're also going to be doing email marketing. You're going to find partners and affiliates to work with. There's so many different kinds of marketing that you now need to implement. This workshop is not about that. Come and join the Legends Lab, which is about that. And you will then, as long as you're hitting your numbers, only mathematically be able to hit your goal. So if you found this useful, this has been a big bird's eye picture of the overview of those main steps you've got. I would love to actually know, did you find this helpful? You've been here with me for 90 minutes to 2 hours. Has this been worth your time? Do you feel clearer about creating a product, about making this kind of course education business work? Who has come away from this feeling like they know more now than they did 2 hours ago? I'd love to see that in the comments to see if this has been worth my time doing this for free today. And I also really want you to know that this is just the beginning. This is a free workshop that only goes over the what and not the how. I have given you some hows, but these have been very surface level how things. How do you actually do it? How do you make all these videos? How do you do the editing? How do you do the recording? How do you do the marketing? How do you do the tech setup? This is covered either in my Concept to Course program, and most certainly is covered in my Legends Lab Membership Academy. Now, can I just highlight to you what I've just done? I'm actually teaching you what I do, and I'm doing what I teach. I have just delivered a free workshop. Throughout this free workshop, I've actually been, sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtly, promoting my stuff by the demonstrations that I've been giving. I've basically been showing you how my things are helpful, both from the Techmatics and from my academy perspective, by actually using it as real life examples through the training that I've been doing. So how can you use your real life, everyday living to show people how valuable your things are when you're teaching? Secondly, what I've done is I've come back to the end of this workshop. I've spent this whole 2 hours, teaching you what you need to do. This is free, so it's the what. And now what I'm doing is saying, if you want to learn how to do it, then come and join my blah, blah, blah thing. Please make sure in all your free workshops and all your training, you're doing the same thing by saying, I have a coaching program called Concept to Course you can come to. Or if you like to have long-term group, feeling like you're part of something, come and join the Legends Lab. It's my membership. It's just $150 a month. You get access to me. You get group challenges, blah, 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 blah. Do the sales pitch. Come and join that too. So this is where and how you turn a free thing into potentially making money. What we're also going to do with this, and what I really want you to know what I will be doing with this, because this is how I keep my business alive, is now with this workshop recording, what am I going to do? I'm going to do a post on all of my socials saying, oh my God, just did the most amazing workshop. Everyone loved it. Look at some of the comments I've got. And I'm going to screenshot some of these comments that you're leaving in the live chat right now. And I'm going to say, who wants the replay? Say me below and I'll send it to you. I'm going to send them the sign up link. So I get their email address. Boom, they now go in my system and start getting marketed to. I'm also going to take snippets from this because I am recording this. We can now chuck this into Descript, and you can actually go to the Underlord and say, turn this into multiple pieces of micro social media content and resize it for mobile. And it will snip my face and it will pull out snippets, and then we can put all of that on social media. And the social media call to action will say, this is a snippet from my free workshop on how to create a course. Jump in and join us here. So every single thing you do, guys, needs to be a method, a means of not only educating, helping people, giving them a taste of you, but also of you thinking, how does this get them into my customer journey or further along my customer journey, and or be used also for that marketing that needs to be done for the rest of time. In this 2-hour session, I have now essentially created for myself about 2 years worth of marketing content by chopping this whole thing up into lots and lots of snippets. This is how you become exceptionally productive and profitable and effective with every single minute of the use of your time. So if you found this helpful, thank you for your lovely comments. I'm Sarah Cordiner. Don't forget to come and join the Legends Lab, check out Techmatics, and I can't wait to help you take your business to the very next level, making a difference to millions, leaving your legacy, and doing that in a way that makes you have fun and make loads of money, because that's what makes the world go around, along with all of our joy and connectedness. Love you all. Thank you for coming. See you soon. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I love all the comments. You guys. Love it. Thank you, Trish. Christine said, I've been meaning to do this for the last 2 years. I really hope that's given you some help to start moving things along a little. David said, I've loved this session. Great warm up for tomorrow's boot camp. It's going to be absolutely epic. If you haven't registered for the Business Automation Bootcamp yet, please do that, because that is all the tech behind doing this stuff. It's going to change everything. All right, my friends, you love the makeup. Thank you. I do have a filter on, by the way. My face isn't this amazing. The cool thing about this Facecam Pro is you can turn the filter up. I am cheating, but thank you. I love it. All right, guys. Happy creating. See those of you on the Business Automation Bootcamp. Thank you for being here, showing up, and I cannot wait to see your courses and your memberships go live. Love you. Bye. See ya. Bye.